Hi everyone. It is Talk to Me Tuesday. This is our fourth one. Can you believe it? That's a full month of these Talk to Me Tuesdays. So let me know how you think it's going. I'd love to hear some feedback. I have gotten some feedback on previous talks that we've had. Last week was especially well received when we talked about connections, like how everyone's staying connected during this time. Because I think all of us are running out of ideas and we're feeling very isolated, and it's really impacting us. So the other topic kind of falls in line with that I've been hearing a lot of and experiencing firsthand very profoundly is exhaustion. Like just pure to the bone exhaustion. And a lot of that is because of the worry, all of the uncertainty, and it really takes a toll on us. And so my background in nutrition is pretty helpful here. I spent a lot of time studying, what the body needs and what self-care means in terms of nutrition and other needs that our body has. So I wanted to kind of talk to you about what I'm doing and open the door to hear what you're doing or what you need help doing, because none of us are doing it perfectly. Even if we are doing something, we could use a little bit of help, myself included. So I thought I would start going through the day with you, because today is one of the days that I am feeling it. I am just to the bone exhausted. Some of you may know that I'm in the process of moving. Today is the closing, so yay, closing on my house. I am in the home stretch. However, it's been exhausting, on top of everything else, and having to primarily do it myself because, we can't utilize others in the community the way that we normally would because of the whole pandemic situation. And I don't want to put anyone at risk. I do have a daughter that's high risk, so these things impact us in so many ways that maybe we didn't even realize, right? Like, who would have thought that, the pandemic is going to have such a big toll on this process and make it that much harder for me. So today because I'm feeling that exhaustion, it's a signal from my body to, hey, whoa, slow down, take care of me before it's too late, kind of thing. And so I'm listening. So this morning, I took advantage of the ability to have a slow start to the day. That's why my message isn't going out to you quite as early. I knew you wouldn't mind. Practicing what I preach. And I always start off with coffee. Yes, it's my weakness. I really enjoy having a hot cup of coffee in the morning. It is my addiction, I guess. If I don't have caffeine, I do have the side effects, so I am a caffeine addict. But just something about having that quiet time to myself, having a nice warm cup of coffee in my hands and not having to really talk to anyone and to just kind of walk through my day in my mind. And then I meditate. So these are two things that I do every single morning, even if I have to get up super early in order to fit it in. If I have morning classes or whatnot, then I always have my coffee and I do my morning meditation. Depending on what kind of week or day I'm having, it can be a 5-minute meditation, or I've had as long as hour-long meditations when I've needed it. So this morning I did about 20-minute meditation after having my coffee. And then I had breakfast. So my breakfast always consists of fruit and protein. So whatever that combination might look like. For me, and this is just for me, I know not everybody is the same and everyone feels their best with different nutrients and at different times. For me, it's about an hour and a half to 2 hours after I wake. I really look forward to having some food in my body, and I do best with protein and fruit. If I have carbs in the morning, like if I were to start with oatmeal, some of you may remember this time last year with my high school leaders. We were doing the SNAP challenge where we were living off of $4.10 a day in food. And we documented how we did that and what we ate and how much it cost and all that and how we were feeling. And I realized very quickly, because I thought, oh, oatmeal, that's really inexpensive and healthy and filling. Um, and it set me up for a day of unbelievable hunger. Like, that's all I could focus on was how hungry I felt when I had that oatmeal in the morning. So for me, carbs in the morning don't work. I really need protein. So this morning I had 2 scrambled eggs and a half a grapefruit. And that was my breakfast. And I do have either coffee with that, or I'll have some warm water. I don't like to drink cold water very much at all, but especially not in the morning. It kind of makes my stomach kind of cramp up, honestly. It's like muscle cramps or something. But again, we're all different. So some people can't stand warm water and they have to drink it cold. And, I get it. You do you. And then I typically like to ease into my day with a couple easy tasks that I know are going to get me excited to cross things off my list. Some people like to dive in first thing in the morning with their most difficult tasks to get them out of the way. I like to start with like 1 or 2 things that I can cross off. And so I feel like I've accomplished something already, and it kind of motivates me to keep going and tackle the next big thing. That's just my mental games. Again, I'd love to hear what works for you. And then, so because I'm feeling so tired today, one thing that really works for me, I listen to my body and what it feels it needs, but I always incorporate some sort of movement, especially on days where I'm feeling really tired. And like, that's the last thing I want to do. That I would much prefer lay down and take a nap, which, sometimes, yes, you should honor that and your body needs that. But for me, napping isn't always a good thing because it interferes with my sleep at night. And I struggle with that enough that I don't want anything else to mess with it. I would rather get my quality sleep in at night. So during the day, especially when I'm having those days of exhaustion, I work in some sort of movement. So I'm a runner. I love to run, but on the days that I'm really feeling exhausted, I cross that off my list right away. Like, I do not want to put my body under any unnecessary stress, and extreme physical activity does put stress on your body. It is good for your body, but it does add additional stress. So it might be in the form of a walk. Like last week I said that I get together with friends and we go for walks. This would be a perfect day for me to do that. Have someone to listen to me talk about why I'm so exhausted, and I can listen to them. I'm sure they're in the same boat. It makes me feel less alone while I'm getting fresh air, and it's a beautiful time of year, all the leaves. So that would be my preferred form of movement. But if that isn't possible, if I can't coordinate that, or it's looking kind of cloudy right now, if it starts to rain, even just doing some simple yoga, just to kind of get the blood flowing and to have my body moving, it's super important for me on days where I'm feeling exhausted. Then I'll probably shower, depending on what kind of movement I did. I don't want to be sitting feeling stinky and sweaty and gross. So I'll shower, and that kind of perks me up too. I actually tend to shower at night. Typically, it helps me with my nighttime routine, and the warm water helps me relax, and in hopes of getting a better night's sleep. Some people like to shower first thing in the morning to wake up, but in the case where I'm going to be exercising midday, I'll do a shower then instead. And then I hope that I'll feel pretty refreshed and I can tackle some of my harder projects that I have going. And those are things that are longer term, so I might not necessarily cross it off my list, so it won't feel as productive to me, but it's important to tackle those a little bit every single day, and I recognize that. So I will put some energy into those harder tasks. And for me, the best time to do that is early afternoon. I'm not so much a morning person. It takes me a while to kind of have that motivation kick in. And then, it's time to start thinking about dinner. So I will honor the fact that I don't have the energy to be cooking a really labor intensive meal and then having to clean up after it today, right? Like I don't have to do that every day. I try when I do that to make extra so I have leftovers. So when days like this catch up to me and I'm feeling exhausted, I can utilize those leftovers. But unfortunately today I don't have that luxury. So what I'm thinking today, one of my stand-in recipes that's not only super easy, but it's also really inexpensive. So if you're on a budget, like most people right now, this is a great budget-friendly, extremely healthy, easy recipe without a lot of dishes afterwards. So it's a real go-to for me. So what I do is I have a sweet potato. I do a baked sweet potato. If I don't have a lot of time, I'll do it in the microwave. I do try to put it in the oven for at least a few minutes to kind of crisp up the skin because I like the skin. Not everyone eats the skin, so it might not even matter to you, and you could just cook it in the microwave. That's fine. And then I use frozen vegetables because they're already cut up. And actually, fun fact, frozen vegetables are frozen at the peak of freshness. So a lot of times you can get more nutrients by eating frozen vegetables than you can eating fresh vegetables. I know that blows a lot of people's minds, but when you think about it, fresh vegetables are picked a little bit prior to their peak because they have to be shipped to wherever you are from the farm. This is the exception to this is if you buy local. If you are using a local farm, then absolutely fresh is best. I'm talking about like grocery store vegetables. So, they're picked prior to peak. They're sitting, getting shipped, and then they're sitting on the shelves waiting for you to purchase them. And then you bring them home, and maybe they sit in your fridge for a couple days before you actually use them. And all that time, they're losing nutrients. So if you buy frozen, they're picked at the peak of freshness, flash frozen. So all the nutrients are retained, and then you cook them up, and there you go. So I use a lot of frozen veggies. And that can just be, warmed up in a microwavable safe bowl. And you take your sweet potato after it's cooked, put your veggies on. I like to sprinkle some cheese on, and some seasoning. Maybe there's some kind of sauce that you really like. Go ahead, put that on. Some of my favorite vegetable combinations actually are I'll throw in some black beans, and then I'll do like a Southwest mix veggies like that will have like onions and peppers and things like that in the frozen mix. And then I'll add a little bit of cumin to it, or if you have taco seasoning, you can add that to it. And then use that on top of the sweet potato. Something about that combination of the sweet potato and the spiciness of the cumin is really delicious. And then with the cheese on top, yum. It's a great dinner. Highly recommend it. So that's what I'm going to have for dinner. And then after dinner, cleanup is really easy because it wasn't a lot of cooking. No cutting up of things. So easy cleanup. And then I will do some sort of self-care tonight. I'm looking at myself and, I could use a pedicure. I'm not going to a nail salon right now, so that's on me. That might feel good. Do a little pedicure, take care of myself, take it easy, read a book, and definitely go to bed early tonight. I don't have any classes tonight, so this is perfect. I can take advantage of that and allow myself to get the sleep that my body really needs to recuperate and face tomorrow. So that is my day. A glimpse into my life. Super exciting, I know. But if any of you want to share some of the tips that you have on dealing with the days that you are just thoroughly exhausted, or if you just want to comment like, hey, I don't think any of those are going to work for me. Does anyone have other ideas that work for them that I can incorporate. Go for it. Let's do this. Let's talk it out and find the best way that we can all show up and take care of ourselves. So until tomorrow, that is it. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful, relaxing, rejuvenating Tuesday. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.